might talk on the same subject, but they shed different light, different perspectives. And Srila Prabhupada says in one of his purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam, I think in Srimad Bhagavatam or his letters, that one should study every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam scrutinizingly from different angles of vision. So let's start 1 to 16. I am on this verse. Sukadeva Goswami says, Shushusha Shraddhadhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirthane Shevanat. And Srila Prabhupada writes there, O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vice, great service is done. By such service one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. So this verse begins with Shushrusho. And the Shushrusho is an important word because Prabhupada translates it as one who is engaged in hearing. And in other words, Shushrusho, if you go in Sanskrit, Shushrusho means a desire to hear. One who is engaged in hearing, a Subhaya person will be engaged in hearing because he is hearing repeatedly. Why? Because he has a desire to hear. So Shru means to hear. Shru means a desire to hear. So in Sanskrit, when you repeat the letters, just like for example, to drink means pa, and to a desire to drink is papau, or maybe pipasa. That's a Hindi word. So when the consonant is repeated, this is technically in Sanskrit is called frequentatives, and that shows a desire. And it's easy to understand. Now this rule is easy to understand. So if you're very thirsty, you're in a desert, and you want to ask for water, and your mouth is drying, you didn't drink water for maybe 1 week, then you'll not be able to even speak water properly. So that time you will repeat it, water. I want water. That stuttering is there. Similarly, this rule is there. A desire to hear. So this is the beginning of devotion. A desire to hear. A desire to hear about Krishna. A desire to hear about the aim and the goal of human life. Ultimately, Srila Prabhupada says, devotion depends on desire. That's all. Everything is desire. Krishna Consciousness, Prabhupada says, that is desire. And Krishna judges our devotion by our desire behind the actions. That is what Krishna is looking for, a pure desire. So Shushrusho, that is what this word, the implications of this word is. So we have, in devotion, we have to focus on our desires. We are doing actions, we are using our intelligence, using our body for actions, intelligence for thinking logically. But everything we are doing is to culture and nurture our desire to serve Krishna, to hear about Him. That's what we are doing. And that's why the 10th offense on holy name, which we just chanted, is not being attentive while chanting the holy names. So, why we are not being attentive? Not being attentive means we are not attentive on our desires. The desire to serve Him. If we are attentive on desire to serve Him, then we can chant properly. Why we can chant properly? Why our mind is reeling all around the world? Because our desire, we don't have a desire to serve Krishna. And that's a verse in Prabhupada quote, Sevon mukhe hi jivadau. When we approach holy name with a desire to serve, swayameva sfurati yada, spontaneously a mind will be fixed on holy name. So chanting is not So chanting is not really a matter of concentration. It's more of a matter of desire. And that is why it is advised to serve. So Shushrusha also means serve. That also means service. So by service, you develop a desire to serve. And when with the desire to serve we approach holy names, then holy name will reveal himself to us. That's why this verse says Shushrusho Shradadhanasya. Prabhupada gives the meaning of Shradadhanasya with care and attention. Actually, Prabhupada didn't translate it as faith, by the way. He translates as care and attention. So you have a desire to hear, and with that desire, when you hear, Sukadeva Goswami says, well, when you hear, please hear with care and attention. That means whatever you hear it in the fashion, in the way, so that you can apply it in your life, so that you can contemplate on that knowledge data. That is care and attention. That is the meaning, care and attention. Vasudeve Katharuchi. And then when we do that, then we get interest in hearing about Krishna, interest in serving him. Vasudeve Katharuchi. By Katha here, by Katha it's not just messages. Prabhupada translates as message. By Katha, Katha also includes service. Because when you hear the message, then you serve. There's no point of hearing something if you don't apply in your life. So here Katha also includes Seva, Shravanam, Kirtanam, everything it includes. So Vasudeve Katharuchi. This word Ruchi is very important. We'll get affinity, Prabhupada says, or interest. One gains affinity for hearing message of Supreme Lord. So we'll develop interest. And these words, faith, ruchi, desire, these are the words which are integral part of devotion. And this interest then matures into love of God. When we have 100% interest in Krishna, that's called love. So here it's starting of interest, Vasudeva Katharuchi, Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra. And then Prabhupada says, the great service is done by serving the Punya Tirtha Nishevanath. So along with hearing about Krishna, along with serving him, along with hearing with an intense desire, Sukadeva Goswami is recommending to serve pure devotees. Because by serving the servants of Lord, one gradually gets the quality of such servants. Prabhupada writes in the Purport, in the last line. And thus one becomes qualified to hear the glories of the Lord. See, such a nice, by serving the servants of Lord, one gradually gets the quality of such servants. So Punya Tirtha Nishevanath. So Punya Tirth means those who are cleansed. Punya Tirth means, Tirth means holy places, Punya means holy, and Nishevanath means service. By serving devotees who carry Krishna and holy places in their heart, by serving devotees who can even purify holy places, Punya Tirtha Nishevanath, that means also this. Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra, by Mahat Sevaya, by serving them, Mahat Sevaya, great service is done. So Sukadeva Goswami recommends 3 things in beginning of devotion, which are actually foundation. Serving great devotees. Why? So that we can imbibe their qualities. When we see them, we imbibe their qualities. And hearing the message of Krishna with a great desire to hear, that's what is most important. And third thing is, what you hear, apply it in your life with care and attention. And that's what Prabhupada says in this purport, last line. The eagerness to hear about God is the first qualification of a devotee eligible for entering kingdom of God. So one point to keep in mind is, it is not just hearing. That's the point. Hearing is a big dimension, big paradigm. Hearing also includes applying. Hearing also includes serving great devotees, because only with great devotees we can hear the message of the Lord, a realized message. And then Sukadeva Goswami says, Shrinvatam Sukatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. Hridayantasthoya bhadrani vido noti suhit satam. If we keep on doing this, then actually I remember Srila Prabhupada says in one of his letters that hearing lectures and reading Prabhupada books, 2 hours is enough. Prabhupada says 2 hours is enough. 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, that's all. Rest of the time, serve Krishna. So why? Because then Prabhupada explains, because then while serving, you can contemplate on what you have heard, and also you had an opportunity to apply that practically in your service, what you have heard. And then when you apply what you have heard, then that knowledge which you have heard, it changes into realizations. That's how it goes. And then day by day, slowly and slowly, our knowledge, our wisdom, our realizations, they incrementally or maybe exponentially increase. There's an increment, and then slowly and steadily we advance. And then what happens? Shranvatam Swakatha Krishna. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Swami says, Shranvatam Swakatha Krishna Punne Shravana Kirtana. Shri Krishna, personality of Godhead, in everyone's heart, benefactor of truthful devotee, cleanses the desire for material enjoyment. Hriday antasthoya bhadrani. A heart becomes pure. That is the stage of anartha nivriti. After bhajana. Punne Shravana Kirtana. Punne Shravana Kirtana means when we hear and serve, we get interest in Shravan and Kirtan. Here Punne, word Prabhupada translates as virtues. Here Punne is not ordinary virtues. Punne is devotional sukrutis. We get devotional sukrutis, we get devotional insights, and then we get Shravan Kirtan. Punne also means holy. So we do Shravan Kirtan of holy things. We glorify transcendental things and not things of this material world. So to have interest in something else than Krishna, that mere interest is equal to glorifying that thing. Glorification doesn't really mean that you are making poems and then you're glorifying it. No. Glorification also means if you're interested in something material, actually you're glorifying that material thing. It's simple. Because your heart likes that. Why it likes that? When you like something, then you praise it. So maybe not speaking, but through your heart. No. So if you like a Taj Mahal, if you go to Taj Mahal, or if you see a girl and you like her, you may not say anything, but your heart will say to you, "Oh, she is beautiful," and that's glorification. So Punne Shravana Kirtana. That is why having interest in this material world, that is doing kirtan of this material world. That is equal to doing kirtan of this material world. And and having interest in Krishna is equal to doing kirtan of Krishna. That is equal. So Sukadeva Swami says, Punne Shravana Kirtana. Slowly, when we serve Him, hear about Him, then Shravana Kirtana, then we will actually develop a desire to actually glorify Krishna. That, in other words, we will get interest in Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes. And Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna. And Swakatha here means we will also get interest in hearing about Krishna and hearing the message given by Krishna. Swakatha. Swakatha means Krishna's own katha. That means Krishna's own pastimes and Krishna's own message. We will develop an urge to hear, and we'll develop an interest in Gita, in Srimad Bhagavatam. Anything connected to Krishna will appear interesting to us. Just like Prabhupada says in Actual Devotion, for a mother, anything connected to her child is interesting. His clothes, his or her clothes, his or her jhula, toys, everything she gets attracted. So that's what happens. And then when you get attracted to Krishna, then the attraction to this material world reduces slowly. Rasvarjam rasobhyasya and hridayantastho hepatrani. And all the misgivings of heart are vanquished. Prabhupada says, vidhunoti suhit satam. And then we can understand suhit satam. We can understand that Krishna is a well-wisher. When a heart becomes pure, when a heart is freed from all kind of nonsense things, and lust, anger, and all these things which disturb us, then our interest in Krishna increases. It gets a boost. It gets a boost, and we develop this conviction: Krishna is my well-wisher. He's my benefactor. Actually, he's my true friend. Then we can understand. People around us, our family, our relatives, whoever they are not our true friends. He is our true friend who gives us peace and satisfaction and happiness of devotion. So that's Sukadeva Goswami's advice. And so as you see, Prabhupada mentions in the last paragraph of this verse, 1 to 17, he says to become he says to become restless in contact of woman and wealth is not an astonishment. Woman, wine and wealth, we say 3 W's. It's not an astonishment, because every living being is associated with such thing from remote time, practically immemorial, and it takes time to recover from this foreign nature. That is what Sukadeva Goswami says, vidhunoti suhit satam. He says, yes, he uses vidhunoti. Vidhunoti is actually present tense. So when you do devotion, cleansing starts. It starts and it keeps on going. It doesn't happen in one day. In one day you can't become Goswami. That's impossible. We have to have, Prabhupada says, with enthusiasm, we should always have patience. So patience does not mean laziness. That's not the idea of patience. A patient person might be super enthusiastic. But at the same time, patience means he is mature enough to understand that there is a time factor in devotion. Okay, we are serving, we are reading, we are doing sadhana, but then there is a time factor, and it takes time. It takes time, and it doesn't take time because Krishna is not eager to get us back to him, because we are contaminated since practically immemorial. But Prabhupada says, by the grace of God, such a devotee gets sufficient strength to defend himself from the state of disturbance. And Prabhupada says, one cannot enter into the kingdom of God unless one is perfectly cleared of all sins. You see, one is perfectly cleared of all sins. Prabhupada and Krishna demands perfection. Nothing less than perfection. Because if we are perfect, then we can meet a perfect Father, a perfect Lord. So purity can only face purity. Impurity cannot face purity. Like people, it is said in English, birds of same feather flock together. So Krishna likes to be with pure people. Why would Krishna like to stay with people who are impure? He comes, delivers his message, he helps us. But if we want to stay with him, if we want to be with him, then we have to become like him. That's the idea. So Krishna helps. If you follow his process perfectly, if we are true to his words, if we are true to our vows, then Krishna will not delay to help us. Krishna is prompt. He doesn't procrastinate. And he never fails to help devotees. That's not his style. So, vidhunoti suhit satam. And then when this happens, when a heart becomes clean or becoming clean, then Sukadeva Goswami says, Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Nashta prayeshu. Nashta prayeshu means almost destroyed. If we keep on doing devotion, when our hearts, when our desires are almost pure, they are like 99% pure, for example, and all the impurities are 99% impurities are destroyed. Abhadreshu means all that is inauspicious for devotional life, all that is unfavorable for devotional life. So in other words, if we keep on practicing devotion, we lose interest in everything which is unfavorable to devotional service. Not only we lose interest, but we'll start hating those things which doesn't help us to serve Krishna, which actually we'll start hating those things which are an obstacle to Krishna consciousness, which take us away from Krishna. So it is said by Vallabhacharya that devotees love those things what is loved by God, and he opposes those things what is opposed by God. What God opposes, he opposes. What God loves, he loves. That's what is a rule of devotion. That is inauspiciousness. To love something which is not loved by God, that is inauspicious. Simple. And to love something what Krishna hates, that is inauspicious. And to love something what Krishna loves, that is auspiciousness. So Krishna loves liberation. Krishna loves the idea that everyone should get liberated from this material world, from sufferings. Yes, devotee loves that. Krishna loves the idea that devotees should serve other devotees. Krishna loves the idea of service. He serves his devotees. So a devotee loves this idea of service. He also serves devotees of Lord. So in devotion, this is the concept of sin and pious activity. This is sin and pious activity. In religion, sin is defined as something else. But in devotion, it's not like that. In devotion, definition of sin in devotion, it automatically comprises the definition of sin in religion. But it's not vice versa. So, Nashta Payashu Abhadreshu Nityam Hare Krishna. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And when almost by regular class attendance in classes on Bhagavatam, by rendering service to pure devotees, all that is troublesome to heart is almost completely destroyed. Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. By doing that, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Vikasa Swami. And then we develop, then loving service unto personality God is praised in transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Then we develop Nishtha. You see, it's the same thing. Sadhu Sang, Shraddha, Sadhu Sang, hearing, and Anatnivritti, now Nishtha. But we get a very good insight how Sukadeva Goswami explains it very scientifically and very meticulously. Bhaktir bhavata naistiki. Our devotion becomes strong when a heart is almost clear. Now why? Why is that? When a heart becomes pure, why our devotion becomes strong? Because the definition of purity is we lose interest in anything which is unfavorable for the service of Krishna. You see, definition matters. And then according to definition, we can understand that as the heart becomes pure and clear, we get nishtha in devotion. Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. And then Sukadeva Goswami says, Tada rajastamo bhava kama lobhadasyaye cheta eterana viddham stitam satve prasidati. Oh, Hare Krishna. So somebody has opened the phone. So can you please close that? We are getting disturbed. I don't know who is that, but okay. Tada rajastamo bhava. So Sukadeva Goswami says, when when after this determination, after nishtha, tada rajas tamo bhava kama laubhataschaye, whatever slight impurity is left, that also gets cleaned. If we serve Krishna with determination, and this is the best goal of my life, this is what I am going to do till the last breath, I will not leave Krishna in any circumstances. And we have to also pray to Him, Krishna, please don't allow me to leave you. I might want to leave you at some time or the other, but please don't allow. And you know what, that happened in Bible. This happens. So Christ, his all disciples were there. I think one of his disciples was Peter, his main disciple. And Peter told Christ, I will never leave you. I will never leave you, whatever happens. And Christ told Peter, by tomorrow morning, you will actually deny me 3 times. That's Christ said. So Peter said, no, I won't do that. Before the cock crows, you will deny me 3 times. And that happened. He denied Christ 3 times, his best disciple. Sundaranand Vidya Vinod, he was one of the right hand of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhaktisiddhanta and his left hand was Anant Vasudev. Both of them rejected Bhaktisiddhanta. Bhaktisiddhanta wrote a poem on them, glorifying them. You can imagine Bhaktisiddhanta glorifying somebody. But in the end, Sundaranand Vidya Vinod, he got doubts on Bhaktisiddhanta's teaching. And Anand Vasudev, he left and he became Babaji. So anything can happen. We can't take it for granted that we will never leave Krishna. Our minds are crazy. We have to pray for that. And when you keep on praying, Krishna, please always keep me near your lotus feet. Don't let illusion deviate me, take me away from you. And anytime if illusion takes me away from you, just catch my hairs and pull me back. That's my request. Even if I don't want to come, forcefully you take me to your lotus feet. Whatever it takes. It might be painful for me, but I'll accept it. Cheta eterana vidham sthitam satve prasidati. And if we do that, if we continue devotion with determination, sitam satve prasidati, we become fixed in mode of goodness. That this mode of goodness is pure mode of goodness. Prabhupada says in the purport, a devotee is neither foolish nor passionate. Foolish, tamagun, and rajagun is passionate. Prabhupada's word-to-word meaning are very practical. Prabhupada says ignorance is foolishness. He is neither foolish, he can understand what's the goal of his life, and he is neither passionate for earning money or material things. The harmful, foolish, and passionate cannot be devotees of the Lord, however they may advertise themselves as devotees by outward dress. So all these things finish. Devotee situated in pure, alloyed mode of goodness. Sthitam satve prasidati. Prasidati means satisfaction. Prasid. This is a word. And devotee becomes fully satisfied at this point because his heart is free of all impurities, his mind is fixed on Krishna. This gives us full satisfaction. See, Sukadeva Goswami gives us a hint. We don't get satisfaction by money, we don't get satisfaction by herodizing ourselves, we don't get satisfaction by pride, name, fame. We will get satisfaction when our heart becomes pure. We will get satisfaction when we are free from rajagun, tamagun, foolishness and passionate desires. Then our heart becomes satisfied. We all have practical experience. We are all devotees hearing. Then we get satisfaction. That satisfaction you have to experience. It's not question of logic. By logic, you can give seminars, but that doesn't happen. Sitam satve prasidati. Sitam means fixed. Sitam means practically realizing on our own. That's the meaning of sitam. Fixed. Your mind becomes fixed. Your mind first-hand, there's a first-hand experience. There's a direct experience of satisfaction. And once you get a glimpse of that satisfaction, then Sukadeva Goswami says, Evam prasanna manaso, mind becomes very happy. Even a glimpse of satisfaction of spiritual life is enough to make mind happy. Bhagavat Bhakti Yogata. And devotion matures, and by the power of the devotion, when the mind becomes happy, Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam. When the mind becomes happy, then a devotee gains Tattva Vijnanam. Devotee actually gains knowledge about Mukta Sangasya Jayate, about liberation. In other words, when the mind becomes happy and satisfied in devotional service, your mind develops the power of discrimination. What is good for me? What is bad for me? And this is natural. You can, once you get a glimpse of satisfaction and happiness and devotion, you will not want to destroy it at any cost, because you got that. So so like for example, it takes a lot to establish your name and fame in the society. People work hard to become famous, and you have to work hard to become famous and have name and fame. And people will do anything and everything not to even have a breach in their name and fame, not to have even a scratch on their name and fame. No, people do like that. People even go to the extent of killing others. So defame me. They don't want defame me. Nobody wants defame me. They have worked hard to develop their position. Similarly, when a devotee works hard in devotion, he gets a glimpse of spiritual satisfaction and happiness, and he values it so much that he will not do anything which will destroy it, which will even actually produce a scratch on that happiness and satisfaction, even in thoughts, in actions, and in words. He is not going to do anything which will destroy his devotion. That is Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam. That's why this verse uses Tattva Vijnanam. It uses the word Vijnanam, doesn't use the word Jnanam. 1-2-20 Bhagavatam. Vijnanam means discrimination, practical discrimination, and practical knowledge. What is good for me? It is not theoretical knowledge. It is not bookish knowledge. He can decide by his own, through his own heart, own vision. Mukta Sangasya Jayate. And then Sukadeva Swami ends this section by saying, Vidyate Hridaya Grantis Chidhyante Sarva Samshaya Shiyante Sarvasya Karmani Dishtva Eva Atmana Ishvare. And by Krishna's mercy, final stroke is Krishna's. Krishna starts the game and he ends the game. But in between, he wants us to work hard. So we are working hard, of course, and that hard work also depends on His mercy. So in other words, that whatever hard work we are doing, whatever we are making our heart pure, it's on the power of holy name, His message, His devotees, His prasad, His temple, His service. But the end, He'll end the game. So when we become extremely pure, fixed, and our mind is happy, and we get the discrimination power to discriminate between what is liberation, what is bondage. We don't mess around with this material world. We are completely fixed in serving Him. Krishna takes the final stroke, and he says, then by staying in his heart, Vidyate Hridaya Granthi, the knot in the heart is pierced. The knot which is not of attachment through many, many, many lifetimes. The knot of attachment to relatives, to our own body, attachment to our own life, attachment to live, the desire to live, that's the idea, that is destroyed. At this point, a devotee even doesn't desire to live. His only desire is that Krishna and his devotees shall live forever. They should live forever. Vidyate Hridaya Granthi Chidhyante Sarva Samshaya. All misgivings are cut to pieces. All doubts are over. Because at this point Krishna reveals himself. And when he reveals himself, all doubts are over. Before Krishna reveals himself, there might be some doubt, because you have not seen him face to face. When you see him face to face, finish. You don't need any theory at that time. He's there. That's all. I don't need any verses. I don't need any scripture. He's there. That's all. Always giving the cut to pieces, and the chain of fruitive actions is terminated. Shiyante chasya karmani. You're free from all karmas. This is a very high platform. This is a platform of love. Of Krishna gives love by taking the final stroke. Drishta evatmana ishvare. The chains of fruitive action terminated when one sees self as a master. Now here, seeing self as a master, you know what, Mayavadis like this verse a lot, and they try to misinterpret it and quote it because it says when one sees self as master, when one sees self, evatmana ishvare, when one sees Atma as Ishvar. So when one sees oneself as God. But it's not, the meaning is not that. The meaning is when one sees self as a master. Who is the real self? Krishna. Krishna is a self of all selves. That is, a real self is Krishna. Our own master, our own, who is our own? Krishna. So when one sees Krishna as a master, then when he's convinced, that is a stage of love. And Krishna takes the final stroke, he gives love, and it is said, certainly, in 22, certainly therefore since time immemorial, all transcendentalists have been rendering devotional service to Krishna with great delight, because such devotional service is enlivening to self. 𝗢𝘂𝗿 𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗲𝗀. Therefore, because of such great benefits of devotion, all transcendentalists were serving Krishna. Bhaktim Paramaya Muda Vasudeve Bhagavati. They were serving Krishna. Kurvanti Atma Prasiddhanam, which can enliven the self, which can satisfy the self. That is what is life meant for. Sukadeva Goswami has scientifically, systematically described the path of devotion and given us insights how should we work all along to advance in devotion and perfect our life. So, thank you very much for hearing. I'll just end here. Any questions now you can ask, otherwise I've done. Hare Krishna. Any questions anybody has?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for a nice lecture. Prabhuji, that one point I heard you said that mind is working based on the discrimination, and mind is like a monkey. So how this discrimination to understand whether his mind is taking decisions right side or wrong side? Because it's what the mind is like what we think should not do, the mind always do only that thing. So means focusing, put focus on that area.
No, I understand. Initially, to decide, we need scriptures. But that's what I was mentioning. But when we get a glimpse of devotion, then mind can decide itself. Like for example, suppose now, a greedy person can decide what exactly which scheme he should apply, which scheme he should not apply. He's greedy, so he knows what is greed, and he knows how to make money, and that is why he will take decisions which will help him to earn money. He has experience of this greed. Or lusty person. See, lust, we all have lust. We all exactly know how our lust will increase, by doing what our lust increases, and by doing what our lust will decrease. So by avoiding what our lust will decrease, we all know. There's no question. We don't want training how to increase lust. We know what increases our lust. And we know by avoiding what our lust will get increased. Because we have experience of lust. Personally. Similarly, until unless we don't have evam prasanna manaso, until unless we don't have a glimpse of spiritual bliss and purity Not just spiritual bliss, but purity. That's more important. Unless we don't have a glimpse of purity, we will not be able to take proper decisions. Just like a small child, he doesn't understand what is lust, and he will never know what increases lust and what decreases lust, because he doesn't have lust. That's all. But when we grow, adults, slowly we automatically make out, okay, this will increase my lust. Oh yeah, yes, girls and whatever it is. So similarly, when we grow in devotion and we experience purity, then automatically we will be able to make out what is favorable to my purity, what is unfavorable, and that is discrimination. But before that we have to take guidance from scriptures, and even after that we might get confused sometimes. So whenever there is confusion, take guidance from scriptures. That's all. Otherwise, Krishna gives that gift just by the dint of giving a glimpse of that purity. That's how Krishna gives discrimination, by giving a glimpse of purity to the soul. That's how it works. Is it okay?
Yeah, Prabhuji, is one term which makes sense. But other things like depression and this anger, anxiety, these are part of this mind function. I believe that, because that the more you dig things and if not come out, then always go in that same direction. You will go in more in depression, anger, and anxiety. So that's how to handle and manage this kind of situations, probably.
No, what kind of situation? No, what kind of situation? Depression, anger,
anxiety, and frustration. All this is also part of mindfulness, like similar you present the examples.
Well, yeah, I can.
These are the activities persons face in their life.
Well,
also you can control.
Yeah, all depression, all anxiety, all frustration. That's what Sukadeva Swami mentions here, that it can be destroyed by knowledge. There is no other way. The more we get knowledge, Punne Shravana Kirtana Hridayantastya Vajrani. These are all inauspiciousness, depression, anxiety, frustration. Prabhupada says in one of his purport that a devotee never gets depressed, never gets frustrated. Because why? Because when we get depressed and anxiety, Krishna also gets depressed and anxious. Because we are his devotees, he likes us. So when we are miserable, Krishna also feels miserable. So he thinks, my dear son, my dear devotees, why they are suffering? Just like parents and children suffer, parents also suffer. So devotee never becomes depressed, never becomes anxious, because he knows my depression is harmful for me. That's okay. My anxiety will give me an anxiousness, but I don't want to give depression and anxiousness or frustration to Krishna. So for Krishna, he always remains happy. Evam prasanna manaso. And that kind of, so that comes by knowledge. When we understand what is Krishna, how he feels when he thinks about us, how he thinks when we think about him. That is knowledge. That is why books are there, Bhagavatam, CC, Krishna book, to understand his nature. And the more we understand his nature, the more we will come in contact with Krishna, and the more we are out of this loop of frustration, anxiety, depression. That's how it works. So we have to have knowledge. We should read books. Try to understand Krishna. And if we are getting frustrated, anxious and depressed, that means we have not understood him. There's a lack in understanding. So fine-tune that. That's all. That's the solution. That's fine.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks for this wonderful explanation, Prabhu. Just a small question. Right now, so many hurricanes, or you can say adibhotic miseries are coming, one after another. And being in Houston, I have seen, it's going through so much, devotees and non-devotees both. So just what is the spiritual cause of this hurricanes or this Mother Nature disturbance?
Well, Krishna is actually so merciful to wake us up from our laziness and slumber. We have been taking easily, life and material world. So Krishna reminds us by this: be on your toes. Don't procrastinate. Perfect your life as soon as possible. This is a kind reminder from Krishna. And those who have knowledge, who are wise, they will be able to understand this hint and this reminder from Krishna. Those who are not wise, those who are foolish people, non-devotees, they will not be able to understand what Krishna is saying. Rather, they will criticize God, why He is giving us so much miseries. So it's almost like a mother slapping the child. The child thinks Mama is bad. I don't want to talk to her. But mother knows that she is punishing the child for his benefit, to give him a reminder that he has to read. Don't play now. If you play now, later you have to suffer. But when the child grows, then he remembers the slaps of his mother and he thanks his mother. Thank you very much. You punished me, and today, because of your punishment, I am a great person. Otherwise, I would have been a spoiled brat. So we should take it as an extraordinary mercy of God. This is mercy of God to help us understand this word is useless. No matter what you do, nothing is going to come out of it. No matter what we keep and grow, nothing is going to happen. We have to perfect our life as soon as possible. We can't waste time. That's what I think the message is. By all miseries of this material world, this is the central message. So, like that, these things are happening, no problem. Glorify Krishna and double your endeavors. That He is kindly reminded us and waken us up from our sleep and our laziness. That's what I think. I view all this like that. And in fact, all miseries of life.
Yes, Prabhu. And in emergency, we have to evacuate our house, and within a minute or within a short time.
Yeah.
And you have deities. So means you are living, and then we say, Krishna take care of house, and then you feel bad also that you left the Krishna over there in the house in middle. So what is your advice? What you say?
Oh, like that. Yeah. People leave deities. No, but why didn't you so why didn't devotees carry deities? They might be small or big. So probably big deities, and that's why. That's why devotees didn't carry a what. I don't know, but yeah, they might have left Krishna deities there. And when, what I think so is, house is there, Krishna is there, whatever, but there's no need to feel bad because Krishna is there in our heart also. More important is this life, because if you don't have life, you'll not be able to serve Him. More important is service. That's the idea. Somehow we have to make adjustment in this material world so that we keep on serving. So if something happens to us, services, even if Krishna is there, service is gone. So we try to protect this body as much as possible to serve Him. Sometimes you can't actually do, in material world, everything is not perfect. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, every endeavor has a fault. So might be hurricane is coming, you have to run quickly and evacuate quickly. So deities are left behind, no problem. That's okay. Krishna understands. Krishna is understanding. Like Madhava and Puri. Krishna told Madhava and Puri to get Chandan from Odisha to Vrindavan. But then in Odisha, in Remuna, he said, no problem. You put Chandan here on Kirchur Gopinath. I will accept it from there. Because he was very old and Krishna couldn't actually bear his sufferings of taking so much Chandan from there to Vrindavan. He said, no, do it like that. So, no problem, Krishna understands. what is happening, and we left Krishna there in hurry, whatever, not just to actually save our lives only. Just it is to actually to actually keep ourselves in a good situation so that we can serve Him. That's the idea. So if it is done for service, if you leave Krishna for service, Krishna will be happy. He will not be sad. So just like Goswamis went to Vrindavan, Nityananda went to Bengal, they left Chaitanya for service. So if devotees have left Krishna to save their own life, then there's a problem. Then they have to suffer for that. But if devotees just, they have to back it. But the central thought was, okay, fine, let's protect ourselves and rest of their life. So now, anyway, if devotees have left Krishna there or whatever they have done, now they should take a vow. Now I will spend my entire life serving Krishna. That you have been doing, devotees have been doing, but now I will serve Krishna with my full might and full strength, full heart and full action. That's what I want to do. Now, this is the opportunity to take a vow. If these things are happening, take a vow. Okay, fine, Krishna, I left you, but now from this point on life, I will never leave you from my heart. I'll keep on serving you. I'll do my best to glorify you in the entire world. That's how we should be thinking if such kind of things happen. I think so. That's my view.